So with the recent boom of NFTs and the long-term success of DeFi, the Idols NFT is set to become one of the biggest NFT projects that has come out recently because they're going to combine both NFTs and DeFi to ensure the long-term success of the project. The value of the NFTs will appreciate over time by a mechanism the Idols NFT called the Virtuous Cycle. So in this video, I'm going to go into great detail about what the Virtuous Cycle is and how it's going to benefit the project for the long-term success. So let's get started. Idols are the guardians of the Ethereum blockchain. We're going to go through the website, then we're going to go through the white paper and see what their plans going forward. So the Idols are the Ethereum NFT that's going to reward NFT holders and token stakers. So now we'll take a look at some of the art, some of the sneak peeks that's been released on the Discord server and online on the Twitter as well. As you can see, the art looks kind of nice. I like the art here. Kind of stunning to me. Like I said, it's going to be backed by staked Ethereum and Idol Treasury, and all the 100% staking rewards is going to be earned by the protocol. They are going to have their own ERC20 token, and this token is going to be used to receive commissions off the sales of the NFTs. Now this graphic here shows the Virtuous Cycle. As you see at the very top is the Idol NFT holders, and then on the bottom right you have the Virtue stakers, and then on the bottom left you have the Idol Treasury. See, the NFT holders, they're going to earn Idol Treasury ETH, then off the sales of the NFTs, the Virtue stakers is going to earn 7.5% of commission off of those. And next, the Idol Treasury is increased by the bonding of ETH for the Virtue token. So now to take a look at the roadmap here. Said in early 2022, which is Q1, they're going to have the offering, which is mint date, launch the Virtue token and deploy the Idol marketplace. For Q2, they're going to have a secret NFT Project 1, a lot more Virtue, which will make the project more valuable, an official merchandise store. Then in Q3, they're going to have their second secret NFT project. This one is going to burn Virtue tokens, which is going to make the Virtue token more scarce, and also build additional staking functionality. And then Q4, which you call the Ascension, transition to a DAO and grow the community and brand. Now going over the team, I'm not going to go through each of their names, but the team, they are anonymous right now. Then most people will consider that to be a negative for DeFi NFT project. However, what I'm going to go through later, them being anonymous is not necessarily a bad thing. Alright, so now we're going to get down to the core of the Idol NFT project. So what are they? Idol's going to introduce 10,000 NFTs, and they are going to be on the Ethereum blockchain. So with them being on the Ethereum blockchain, that is going to introduce higher gas fees, but Ethereum has proven no matter what the gas fees are, people are willing to participate in these DeFi protocols if they're really worth it. And then they're also going to have a membership into the special community, which is the Idolverse as well. Now the key functionalities here, these are some of the things I highlighted I think is going to be very important. I'm going to go through some other things as well. So 100% of the proceeds from the mint that they're calling an offering, this is the mint date, will be converted into Lidos ETH and deposited back into the protocol / treasury. That right there is going to be huge because none of the proceeds that's coming from the mint are going into the pockets of the founders and developers of this project. 100% is going into the state treasury for the project. Then next, the interest earning from the ETH and the treasury will be paid out in perpetuity to all Idol NFT holders. So that means that all of that crypto that was generated from the mint or the offering that day going to go into the treasury, and when that treasury start rewarding its interest rewards, that money goes to the NFT holders. That's huge. And then next, the Virtue token, which is going to be the ERC20 token, the Virtue stakers will receive 100% of commission from secondary sales of the Idol NFTs. So that means that any person who's holding a staked Virtue is going to receive commission from the sales of the NFTs. What they're also going to do, they're also going to make their own NFT marketplace outside of OpenSea, LooksRare, any other market. They're doing this to make sure that their NFTs are going to be consistently on sale and won't be blacklisted or anything else or reported by any other marketplace. So digging a little deeper into the Idol NFTs, it's going to be 10,000. They are going to be generative portraits. This is, I would say, a little different from the next highlighted paragraph. Some idols will have features that are rarer than others. However, since all idols will have an equal claim on the income generated from the idol treasury, all idols will have an identical intrinsic value. So that means that technically all the idols will have the same value because they're all going to receive the same reward from the idol treasury. No matter if you have one, basically you're going to get 1/10,000 of the Idol Treasury reward. So if you have two NFTs, you're going to receive 2 of 10,000. But now it goes back to perceptive value. What people see, people may see some Idol NFTs that have rare qualities, say like the wings on this one. Say if wings are only on 0.02% of the NFTs, people are going to probably consider those NFTs to be more value to them. So they may want to pay more to add that to their collection. So that's two things that's going to vary with them. They all have the same value, but at the same time, they don't have the same value. All right, so to go over something a little further about the offering, if you remember, I stated earlier that 100% of the total Ethereum generated from the offering is going to go into the Idol Treasury. And I said that none of the Ethereum is going to go into the founders' pockets. However, with any project, if you create anything, you do want to be able to capitalize off of your project. So how they're going to go around this is that they're not going to pocket any of the Ethereum. However, what they're going to do, I'm going to read this. As 100% of the Ethereum raised from the event is going back into the community, the founding team is reserving 10%, which is 1,000 Idol NFTs, for the team and early advisors. So the team is not necessarily claiming the value off of it. So their value is locked into the value of the NFTs. That is a way for them to claim a little value back for themselves, but they can't take all the Ethereum and just run away with it because it's going to be locked up. Now, digging a little deeper into the project here, the next highlighted statement. It is important to note that the principal amount of this ETH can never be withdrawn from the Idol Treasury. That means it's going to be locked up forever. Only the staking rewards that are earned. This ensures that the Idol NFTs will always have intrinsic value, as they will have a proportional share of the staking rewards in perpetuity. That is huge in my book. That means no matter what is done, whoever holds these NFTs in their wallet, they're going to be receiving basically airdrops of Ethereum in their wallet. Well, it depends on how the protocol implements this feature, the reward system. But whoever owns the NFT in their wallet, they have earned that Ethereum. Moving on, Stith rewards. So this is huge. This is something I had to read a couple times to figure out what they were referring to. So Stith rewards. So going back, if you guys are familiar with PancakeSwap, there's a certain feature on there where you have the rewards staking, and every so often the person who clicks the button to distribute the rewards out, that rewards is issued out to everybody, but then the person who clicks the button, they get a certain amount of reward too. So that feature implemented into the Stith rewards. 99% of the Stith income from the Idol Treasury is paid to and split equally amongst Idol NFT holders. Next, 1% of the Stith reward is paid to the caller of the keeper function, which updates the protocol after a Stith rebase. So, yeah, it's probably going to be competitive, and you're probably going to also have bots competing to update the keeper function. Whoever can call that keeper function, there's no telling how much that 1% can be. So that 1% could be significant. Moving on to commissions. So 100% of the commissions is paid back to the community, to the Virtue stakers. To clarify this, when you sell an NFT, there's going to be a 7.5% commission. This is going to be on the Idol marketplace. That commission is not going to be paid to the NFT holders. This is where the ERC20 token, the Virtue token, comes into play. That commission is going to be paid to the stakers of the Virtue token. Virtue token. The Virtue token is also going to play a significant role in the Virtuous Cycle moving forward as well. So the Virtue token, there's not going to be none mintable. Now for a token breakdown, 75 million are going to be for the Virtue bonding curve, 10 million for the community treasury and liquidity acquisition, and 15 million for the team and advisors. Now, I stated earlier, the team and advisor are not receiving any of the Ethereum raised from the offering, the mint of the NFTs, but they are receiving 10%, 1,000 NFTs for themselves, and they also going to receive 15 million of the Virtue tokens. Later on down the line, the Virtue token is going to be used for DAO governing in the Idolverse. Alright, so let's go over the bonding curve. And I'm going to try my best to explain this because it took me a while to look at the graph and understand exactly what was going on. So what this bonding curve means is when you go to Lido or the Idol platform, when you stake your Ethereum for Stith, you're going to receive a Virtue token in an exchange. So it's going to be a one-way transaction. You can never exchange your Virtue back into Ethereum. Once you deposit your Ethereum for Virtue, it's a one-way transaction. So over here, this is 0. The amount of Virtue token on the platform that can be minted. As you can see, it's up to 80 million. 75 million is about right here. at the bottom here. This is stETH, basically stake ETH. And you can kind of think of this line at the bottom as the amount of Ethereum in the protocol. So when there's no Ethereum in a protocol, this is that line here, and this is when the maximum Ethereum is in a protocol, theoretically. This right here is the amount of Virtue token. So let's say as soon as a protocol open, there's no Ethereum stake. So as soon as the initial Ethereum comes into the protocol, this is right here at 0. The initial Ethereum will start to earn the cheapest Virtue tokens there's going to be. But as more Ethereum starts to go into the protocol, going this way, that means you're going to start receiving less and less Virtue token, up to a point where it's just going to flatten out. This means that on this side, on day 0, when there's no Ethereum in the protocol, the Virtue token is very cheap to attract people to stake their Ethereum so they can get more Virtue token. But as more Ethereum start to be staked, the price of the Virtue token start to increase. That's why this curve here represents how much Virtue token you will receive. So as the price goes up in Virtue token, you're going to start receiving less and less Virtue tokens compared to the amount of Ethereum that you stake in. Alright, so let's go over the community treasury / liquidity acquisition. I'm going to read this entire thing to explain why the team is going to be receiving the 10 million tokens. The founding team will be reserving 10 million tokens for the community treasury. The vast majority of the tokens will be used to acquire liquidity for the Virtue token for further development and server costs. All funds within the community treasury will either be used for future projects within the Idleverse or passed on to the eventual DAO. So to explain the team allocation of the 15 million Virtue tokens that the team is going to receive, they're invested in the success of the project going forward. Because the team allocation is going to be vested alongside the Virtue token from the bonding curve. Remember talking about this curve right here, basically saying that the more Ethereum that's staked in a protocol, the more valuable Virtue token becomes. So basically, if 0 tokens are emitted via the bonding curve, the team allocation vested will also be 0. So that means if nobody's staking their Ethereum in this protocol, the founders get nothing. That's very huge. And additionally, they have a 6-month lock post vest where the team members are not allowed to access their Virtue at all. So increased emissions of the Virtue from the bonding curve indicates more stETH is in the treasury. That means that people are depositing their Ethereum in the treasury. They're gaining Virtue. If more Virtue is coming to the market, that means the increased emissions of the Virtue from the bonding curves indicate people are buying Virtue at a higher price. Earlier stated that the function of the Virtue token is for you to receive the 7.5 commission off the sales of the NFTs. But this is also important as well. In order to receive that commission, the Virtue token must be staked. So you can't just bond your Ethereum and receive Virtue token and then get the commission. Once you receive the Virtue token, you have to stake it within the protocol. I don't know exactly how the UI is going to look like, but that's going to be the main thing if you want to be able to earn that commission. This also means that even if you are later on in the project where you never got a chance to own a Idol NFT, you can still get into the Idleverse by staking your Ethereum and obtaining the Virtue token. So like other NFT projects where once the project is sold out, you're locked out of the project, that's not the case here. As long as you can get some Virtue tokens, you're in the project. The Idol marketplace is going to be available at launch. You'll be able to sell your NFTs immediately. So one of the benefits of the Idol marketplace is that there's going to be no exchange failure risk. So as a platform goes down, it's still going to be there. The next thing is there's going to be no third-party fees. That means that if you sell on OpenSea, which you can sell on OpenSea, since it's an NFT, it's crypto, it won't be restricted from selling on there, but you won't have any additional third-party fees. 100% of the commissions are going to be paid to the community of the Idleverse. Then lastly, it's going to also ensure that Virtue stakers receive all the commissions due. That means that if you trade in the Idol marketplace, this whole ecosystem between the NFT holders, the Virtue token stakers, and people who staked ETH, everyone is going to benefit. It goes in a complete circle, what they call the Virtuous Cycle. Virtuous Cycle. Let's go through all of that once again. Let's see if I can explain it a little bit more clarity for you. This is the Virtuous Cycle. The core tenets of the Idol NFT ecosystem are cooperation, giving, and receiving. This next sentence is my favorite sentence out of this entire white paper. I love the way this was worded. When Idol NFT holders and Virtue stakers cooperate and give to each other, they both receive back something that is greater than what they've given. I really do like that. And if you understand the Virtuous Cycle, how this whole thing integrates with each other, this bears out to be true. We call this the Virtuous Cycle. The Virtuous Cycle can be demonstrated below. So the very first one, Idol NFTs give a 7.5% commission to all Virtue token stakers. This commission is based off of sales, so the higher the sales price, the more that is given. So that means that 7.5% off a $100 NFT would be $7.50 divided up and paid out to all Virtue token stakers. But say that NFT sells for $10,000. That's $750 that's going to be distributed amongst Virtue token stakers. So once again, it bears out to be true. The higher the value, next in line benefit. Number 2, as more royalties are given to Virtue stakers, the staking yield for the Virtue increases. Increased yields for Virtue staking will increase demand for the Virtue token itself. So with that saying, the higher the NFTs start to sell, you're going to get higher commissions. Number 3, the Virtue stakers take Virtue tokens off the open market. When Virtue tokens are taken off the market, additional Virtue must be acquired from the bonding curve. So if you start buying from the bonding curve, that means that you're going to start paying more for the Virtue. And if you're paying more for it, you deem that it's more valuable. Number 4, when new Virtue tokens is emitted from the bonding curve, more ETH is deposited into Treasury. Once again, it's going back around to it. When more ETH is deposited into the Idol Treasury, Idol NFTs receive more ETH rewards in perpetuity. This should lead to higher price for the Idol NFTs, leading us back to number 1. I'm going to go back to the previous graphic with more pictures. At the very top here, this is the NFTs. On the offering day, these NFTs are going to be minted to new owners, and all the Ethereum generated from the NFT sale is going to go into the Idol Treasury. And then on this same day as well, people can obtain Virtue tokens from the bonding curve. So this is the NFT holders. This is the bonding curve, people who want to buy the Virtue tokens. And then this is the Idol Treasury. When you obtain these NFTs and people want to sell them, the commission, the 7.5% commission, get paid to people who own Virtue tokens and have staked them. So these people who stake these tokens, they're going to start receiving all this commission. Now, when other people start to see, hey, the commissions that these people are getting paid here is quite nice, I want to get some Virtue tokens. They go to the Idol marketplace and they go buy Virtue. And they're paying a more premium price for the Virtue. The price is going up. They're staking Ethereum. They're paying at a higher price. And all of the Ethereum is going into the Idol Treasury. And it is locked away forever. No one can touch this. You cannot exchange your Virtue back for Ethereum. It's a one-way ticket. And then once Ethereum is in the Idol Treasury, this Idol Treasury is going to be earning interest rewards. And all of this commission and all of this interest that's being paid out is going to be paid to the NFT holders, which is going to increase the value of the NFTs because people are going to say, hey, these NFTs are earning some nice rewards. I want to own one. 7.5% commission is earned off that sale. That commission is paid to the Virtue token stakers. Then once again, Virtue token stakers, they're starting earning more rewards. More people want to get the rewards. They buy Virtue. The Ethereum goes into the Treasury. Treasury becomes more valuable. The rewards to the NFT holders gets paid out more. NFTs becomes more valuable. And this goes back into my favorite sentence into this entire white paper. When Idol NFT holders and Virtue stakers cooperate and give to each other, they both receive back something that is greater than what they have given. I think that is a powerful statement, and I think that this project is going to prove that statement to be 100% accurate. One of the last areas I'll be covering is details about the offering, which is set to take place this Saturday, March 5th, 2022. At 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will be 4 p.m. UTC. So the official URL for many will only be posted via the Idol's official Twitter account. Not Discord, not Medium, not TikTok, not YouTube, not Telegram, and definitely not anyone who DM you any information. This is to mitigate scammers targeting vulnerable individuals. So if you go to any link other than the one posted on the Idol's Twitter account, you're more than likely opening a spam or phishing URL. So only get the URL from the Idol's official Twitter account. And I'm going to say this one more time. Only get the URL from the Idols official Twitter account. So next up, let's go over the minting process and the cost for the Idol NFTs. There will be a maximum of 20 mints per wallet. The minting process will use a style called the last price Dutch auction, which is a variation of the Dutch auction style. If you have never heard of this style of minting, you definitely need to stick around for the explanation. But before I explain, you need to know the price of the NFTs, which will range from the high of like 1 Ethereum to the lowest of 0.25 Ethereum. So you may be wondering why there's different mint prices for the Idol NFTs. This is due to the last price Dutch auction. In this style of minting, everyone will pay the exact same price for the NFTs. Upon the offering opening, all 9,000 of the Idol NFTs will be priced for minting at a cost of 1 Ethereum until they are completely sold out, or until 3 hours have passed. If all NFTs have not been sold after the 3-hour mark, the Idol NFTs are reduced to a price of 0.75 Ethereum for the next 3 hours. Now, you may be saying to yourself, like, how is everybody paying the same price when some people just bought at 1 Ethereum and others may have waited and bought theirs at 0.75 Ethereum? Continue listening and you will fully understand how everyone pays the same price. Now, if we come to the end of that 3-hour time span, since the price was reduced to 0.75 Ethereum, which at this point would be 6 hours of total time the minting process has been open to the public, okay? If in that 3-hour time span, if not sold out, the Idol NFT's price is reduced once again to now have a price of 0.5 Ethereum. So 0.5 Ethereum until the remaining are sold out. Or, once again, 3 hours has passed since the price was reduced to 0.5 Ethereum. Then, if not sold out in that next 3-hour time span, the Idol NFTs are reduced to its final and lowest price of 0.25 Ethereum. Now, this is how everyone will eventually end up paying the same price. So, whatever is the lowest price the Idols NFT were sold when all 9,000 NFTs were sold out, that is the price everyone would end up paying eventually. So what will happen? You will be airdropped in Ethereum the difference of the amount you paid and the final Idol minting cost. So if a person purchased the Idol NFT immediately when the offering opened, they would pay 1 Ethereum to mint their Idol. But if by the end the price was only reduced to 0.75 Ethereum, that person will receive an airdrop of 0.25 Ethereum back into their wallet. So that's the difference of 1 Ethereum and 0.75 Ethereum. So another example, so if the price was reduced to 0.25 Ethereum when all the idols were sold out, they will receive an airdrop of 0.75 Ethereum, which is the difference between 1 Ethereum and 0.02 Ethereum. So in retrospect, everyone will have paid the same price, but people who paid the higher price will be refunded their difference later on. But please note that this does not factor in the gas price of Ethereum. However, the Idol team says that the Dutch auction style was designed to help combat gas wars. Now this is the part I'm just going to read aloud. The team is rewarding our most virtuous mentors with a pot of 100,000 virtue tokens. This pot will be divided proportionally among those who mint during the first hour of the auction, which they call the virtuous hour. So, if you're willing to mint at a price of 1 Ethereum when the offering opens, you're going to get some virtue tokens as an incentive for paying the 1 Ethereum. Incentivizing people is usually never a bad thing. But if you want to get the full details of this article here, this is the Idol's Medium account in which they go through details of the offering. So, I lied. I got one more area to cover before we end this video. One of the biggest questions regarding any new NFT project is the following. How can I get on the whitelist? Well, I hate to break the bad news to you, but there is no whitelist for the Idol NFTs. However, there is a gold list. For the full details regarding the gold list, I will direct you to join the Idol's Discord server to read the entire post. They have a channel dedicated to just the gold list details. And the reason I'm doing this is because there are some requirements that are time-based. And because the mint process is less than a week away, some requirements could possibly change by the time you are watching this video. So join the Discord server to get the most updated details about the gold list. Alright, so that concludes my explainer video about the Idol NFTs. If you found this video informative, please consider dropping a like. Hitting the subscribe button will help me tremendously. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism, random thoughts, funny jokes, emoji rants, please leave them down in the comment section below. And if you would like to chat with me in real time, consider joining my Discord server. I'll talk about crypto, DeFi, NFTs, NFT gaming, and other content. So after going through this entire video, honestly, I'm not entirely sure if I'll have the resources to mint an Idol NFT, but I really would love to get one. Just resources are very low right now. So this is my plea to you. If you found this video to be informative and you would like to donate to help me cover the mint price to get an Idol NFT, you can send any donations to my Ethereum wallet address. Any and all donations will be appreciated. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end. This is Crypto Gibby, and I'm out.